this week's episode of Play by Play. I am your host, Andy Horton, alongside my co-host, Jared Bergstrom. And well, Jared, episode number 143. And there's been a lot of things going on over the last week. There is a lot of crazy stuff that happened in baseball over the weekend, so we will talk about some of that. The Reds came into the doubleheader today, riding a 5-game winning streak. That came to a stop, but we'll see if we can pick up where we left off there in the second half of the doubleheader tonight, in which, oh crap, who's the pitcher who's coming up and getting his first start?
Chase Petty.
Yeah, Chase Petty, there you go. So we will talk about all of that. NBA playoffs still going on, and then there's the NFL draft, which made all sorts of headlines.
Which we did not really text each other about it this weekend at all.
Not too much. As it was happening, and we'll talk more about this later, but as it was happening, I was not excited. I did not like the draft. Since then, I've kind of backed off. I'm still not the biggest fan of the Bengals draft, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world either. So all that being said, I think we're going to start off this week in baseball. But so you take a look over the last week or so, the Reds, the Marlins, and dropped the first two there, and that was frustrating. That was really frustrating. Gave Cabrera his career high with like 14 strikeouts in that game. He was just throwing them right by the Reds. But outside of that, it was a pretty good week.
Yep, Colorado.
Did lose the second game, but then went on a 5-game winning streak after that. Like you said, swept Colorado. The offense has been consistent, and everyone knows that the pitching staff just about every day is going to give this team a chance to win. Mm-hmm. Got to figure out what is going to be done with Alexis Diaz, though, because he's had 4 outings, and I think one of them looked good.
We talked about it last week. I was like, when does that old Diaz creep back in? And the answer was today. Let me pull up because he hasn't been back. I think he came back on the road trip.
5 outings.
Okay. Oh, no, sorry, he came back. He's been back longer than I thought. He came back in the Seattle series.
In 3 out of the last 4 outings, 4 out of the last 5 outings, he looked pretty good. But he gave up 3 against Miami in the loss there, and then he gave up 5 in the 9th inning today.
Good God.
Yeah, it was not a good one. Not a good day for Diaz. So that was rough. You got another good start out of Brady Singer. I'm just so happy how Marte and Gavin Lux have been able to hit over the last 2 weeks, because
Hayes is still up there.
Hayes is as well. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but like Lux, we've kind of seen it all season. He's had really good at bats. It's nice to see those pay off, and it's really nice to see Marte, such a young guy, that in what was almost his rookie season, he was like a dozen at bats shy of it being like an official rookie season. Mm-hmm. But and in that first season that he was up in 2023, hit 316, I think, and looked really good. The Reds were hoping that they could get that guy last year, and then the suspension. He came back from the suspension and looked awful. I mean, looked like he had no confidence and wasn't very good. Just since he came back up after the start of the season, he's looked phenomenal. Was 0 for 4 today, but still hitting 340 on the young season. And if those two guys can stay hot, I mean, I don't think that either of them will hit 340. That is insane. But if those two guys can stay somewhere between 275 and 300, 310, like, it adds depth to this lineup. And what I mean by that is it just makes it so you don't get past Ellie and Hayes, and then it's like, all right, well, then there's no other threats. How it's been for the last 2-3 whole years for this Reds team. Now, those guys are hitting well. At some point, I really do, and I have not been the biggest Spencer Steer fan in the world, but at some point, I do think he is going to get it together. He has looked better. I don't know about Jake Fraley. when I hate Jake Fraley, he starts to hit well, and when I'm happy with Jake Fraley, then he starts to play badly. So I have
Don't
to.
be happy
I'm
with
back
him
to.
anymore
I'm back
this
to. Yeah, I already texted my dad and uncle that like over the weekend. I was like, I'm back to hating Jake Fraley because he's only good when I hate him.
Well, then I'm going to play him for a home run tonight in DraftKings, and hopefully it pays out then.
Well, we'll see. But Trevino still being amazing.
Yeah, wins. When he's getting his at-bats, he is producing.
Yeah.
I know he's only got 30 at-bats, so his .433 average is a little bit miscued, but hey, he's putting the ball in play and getting runs in.
And one of the most important things is the defense has been a breath of fresh air. There's still been a handful of mistakes. It's not been perfect by any means. But with what the Reds have been dealing with the last 2 or 3 years, it's so much better. Martinez probably wouldn't have had, in my opinion, a quality start yesterday if it wasn't for the defense. There was 3 double plays turned. I mean, he was letting guys on base either by walk or by hit, left and right.
Yeah.
And it was just good defense. He was putting the ball on the ground in the right spots, and Ellie and McLean and the rest of the infield were able to make a bunch of plays to really make things look better for him. So love to see that. It's always rough, a game like the Reds just had today, though. Never really got the bats going.
And then, I mean, you're trailing 1-0 into the 9th inning, and then you did just well, no, he did. No, he did face his 3 batter minimum because they were all.
But you get all the wind knocked out of your sails.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a chance to win that thing going into the bottom of the 9th until the disastrous 9th inning there by Diaz.
I didn't even watch it. Did we even get any base runners in the 9th?
They scored 3 runs and I turned it off.
So did I. I wasn't like, oh, nope.
I was like, yeah, I've watched a lot of Reds so far this year. I'll pick it up in game 2 today. Mm-hmm. So okay, got to look down the next week.
Oh, let me pull up the schedule.
Like we normally do. So we got the other game coming up tonight. That one is Chase Petty and Matz. Let's see, Steven Matz. This might be a bullpen game for them this season.
The Reds or them?
Them. Because he only has 1 start this season and on 20 innings pitched. And he has 1 save. 14 Ks with a 1.8 ERA. So I'm pretty sure he's a reliever.
They might do that because that's what a lot of teams do, go to bullpen for a doubleheader. I don't know how long they'll actually let Petty go with him being his first time. So I think the Reds will get the win. I don't know if Petty will go the distance to get the win, to qualify for the win, I mean. But the Reds will win. We got to bounce back, beat St. Louis. I can't stand him. And then Abbott, I mean, as long as he keeps doing what he does, tomorrow should be another fun game for him.
Yeah, looking at this schedule, man, I could see the Reds starting off this next, I guess not this next week, considering we do this on a Wednesday, yeah. I could really see them, and this is being optimistic with St. Louis, because I never trust the Reds in division, but
that's where we got to win.
Yeah, but I could see him taking these 2 and then maybe even sweeping the Nationals. Martinez on Sunday scares me the most. Gore has been one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game this season. Yes. Last time I checked, he led the league with 53. So he's been throwing guys out left and right. But Green, Lodolo, the 2 days before that, always confident when those 2 guys take the mound. Especially Hunter Green hasn't really had his best stuff the last couple of outings. You expect for him to get back on track. With this next one, we finally saw the first elite, and I don't want to say finally because we're not that deep into the season. We finally saw the first elite Lodolo game, though, so like to see him continue that.
Yeah, Gore's up 4 strikeout totals. It's 60 on the season.
He's up to 60? Yeah, he's just racking them up so far. And then Monday, Tuesday, against Atlanta, down in Atlanta, a preview to the Speedway Series. Yeah. I guess it's not a Speedway Series. It's the Speedway Classic. Is that what they're calling it?
They're saying Speedway Series, but it's just one game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to call it that, play all three there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But we don't have their starters. We do know that Sale will play in the middle game. We get Singer Abbott for the first two. And also, I do want to mention, losing Hayes. We don't know how long we're losing him for, but he's dealing with a little bit of a nagging hamstring right now. Mm-hmm. That could be huge, because that's when the offense took off. I mean, the day he stepped in, the offense went right through the moon.
Well, Candelario's on the DL, too.
Yeah.
He got put on there today.
And I just, real quick, I just think it's really funny how the MLB, they act like they care about integrity and this and that, and then you get garbage-ass Phantom IL stints like Candelario's on right now. I don't believe he's hurt. Maybe his ego's hurt because he's hitting 130, freaking 120, 110. What is it? I don't know. It keeps falling. And I'm a big Candyman guy. I think anyone that watches this show would know that. I think he's got to get it together at some point.
Can't get worse.
That's for sure.
Let me pull it up and see. They say it's his lower back.
And I say it's hogwash. He is hitting 113.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I think they're giving him a break. Say, hey, go clear your head, figure it out. Come back in a few days.
Might be looking at the return of Tyler Stevenson, too. Maybe not this week, but maybe by the end of next week, I was reading.
And obviously, I want Tyler Stevenson back. But I'm scared that this might screw up the hitting of one of the other two catchers. And considering they are together the best catcher in the league so far this season.
Mm-hmm. Well, Stevenson can always come back and play DH. He was in the DH role a couple times last year.
But then what? But then what do you do with Lux? Where does he go?
Ooh.
Because if Hayes is in the outfield, and McLean is playing, then he can't play second.
Lux can go in the outfield.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
if Hayes is playing, he can't go in left, and if McLean is playing, he can't go at second. Can he go to first? Who's playing first right now?
CES.
No, he's not. That's Steer right now. So, I mean, but like, I kind of think he's starting to get it together. I
don't know. That's a question I don't have to answer.
Tito, you got a puzzle. You got a puzzle. And, you know, this is like maybe the first time in a long time, or it feels like ever, maybe as a Reds fan, that you have rich people problems.
It's a long time because you have multiple people at multiple positions that can do good, and you're running out of spots to put them.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a problem I would like to have.
Yeah, it's not a bad problem to have. That is for sure. Especially considering the offense the Reds have been dealing with over the last 2 years. Can you give me something? Can you give me something? And they're giving us all of it right now. So, yeah. But anyways,
I don't think we actually ever said how many.
I could see them starting another 5-game winning streak right here.
So you got a sweeping Washington.
I could literally see an undefeated week. I don't want to call that. I'll go 5-2. Say we might lose one to Washington and drop one of the either one of these ones or one of the Braves games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go 6-1.
I hope to God that the Reds are as good as we're hoping that the Reds are as good as we think they could be. Because if so, they're going to start making some hay before the schedule starts to get tough. Because at the end of May, maybe you could, I would probably say the end of May is when things take a turn. After, I mean, we play towards the end of May. Friday we have Friday, May 23rd, we have a 3-game series versus the Cubs. And then we get a 3-game series against the against Kansas City. But then I think it really actually gets tough. That's when things go hard, especially for the next 3, 4, 5 series. Like you said, right back to Chicago, then Milwaukee, Arizona comes to town, go up to Cleveland, Detroit. I mean, that right there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be 5 playoff teams. That's 15 games against playoff teams. Bang, 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 and 18 out of 21. If you count if you extend that to the other Cubs series on the other side, the start. If you include the first Cubs series in the Kansas City, that's
because that team.
But actually, maybe not. Maybe it's not that many playoff teams because Milwaukee. They're actually under 500 right now. They've been struggling, but a little bit.
They won their last 2, so they were right at 500.
Oh, they got back?
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, they are struggling. We got to sweep Pittsburgh again in there before we go out and go to Chicago. That's got to be the thing. You got to sweep the teams that suck.
Ooh, and then
you looking
late June, it also gets tough again.
Now we're playing
there's a 2-week stretch, or there's a 1-week stretch where we get a little bit of a break with the Twins and St. Louis. But then New York, San Diego, Boston, and Philly. And then Miami and Colorado to go into the break. So at least you go into the break you get 7 against Miami and Colorado. But that's a rough stretch there.
When that New York series gets closer, see who's pitching that and go see Judge.
There you go. One of them is going to be on Amazon, those games.
It's a Wednesday game.
I would be totally down to going up to Detroit and catching a game up there at Comerica. I've heard that's a nice ballpark. So, okay. Is that going to wrap it up for
I think so.
Baseball?
I believe so. So that means, are we moving? Where do you want to go to next?
And get into the NBA, maybe try and do that quicker, a little quicker maybe.
Let me pull up the playoff bracket, because there's a couple that are done already. OKC swept the Thunder, or swept the Grizzlies.
God, that would have been weird.
Yeah. Cleveland and
had the second biggest win in NBA playoff history over Miami. Beat them by 55.
Oh, I turned it over because I got an alert that started on my phone. I turned it over. It was like 38-12, and I went back. It's like they are not coming back.
I never even turned that one on. Boston took care of business last night against the Magic. And, that was that was a good series. I was a big fan of that series, and I like the fact that we actually got the Magic. They're a big, tough, physical team. I feel like it was a good test, get us ready for down the road. Maybe a little bit opposite of, now I don't think they had the requisite talent to be able to beat us, but a kind of opposite of last year where the Celtics kind of got to dance and walk their way through with the first few rounds because of injuries. This Magic team was completely healthy. The Celtics were a little banged up. I mean, Jason Tatum missed 1 game because he hurt his wrist, and then Jrue Holiday missed at least 2 games. And Boston was still able to take care of business. That game was tight, at least the whole first half last night. And then, yeah, okay. I know.
I didn't watch that one either. And I was like, you said it was tight. It's like, they won by 49.
Yeah, I was. And at halftime, Boston was up. Or wait, was Boston up? Yeah, no. At halftime,
49-47.
Yeah, Boston was down by 2. And then the third quarter was the real Turner, 36-13.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just blitzed them there in the third.
Do? Hold on, let me look and see. Did they turn it over all the time? I can look it up. Get out of here. Third quarter, Magic.
I was at a comedy show last night, so it was at a bar, so I was paying attention, but it wasn't my main focus.
So the Magic missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 shots in the third quarter. 3 inside the cylinder, or the restricted area. Good God. As where Boston only missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one of those was, it looks like it was Cole Anthony's shot at the buzzer at the end of the third quarter. So I'll say Boston missed 5 shots.
Yeah, that's actually, it was a half-court heave. That's what that was.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's on Boston's side. I was confused by it for a second, too. I was like, why is it a different color? But
then never mind. They missed 17 shots, and Boston only missed 4. Never mind. I thought that was Boston's shot. Ooh. All right, so now that means that they get... Oh, no, they...
Oh, and Jason Tatum, last 3 games of the series, averaged 35, 10, and 8, something like that, was magnificent after he came back from the injury. I mean, I don't know, soreness. You know,
it's don't have to play him, so get the rest. So Detroit should have won this series already.
Oh yeah, so I haven't been paying the closest attention to this series. And that is totally my fault.
But yeah, I mean they had.
But yeah, no, I've heard a lot of people say that that at least the first 2 games they outplayed the Knicks. What? 6 of 8 quarters minimum?
In the first game, they outplayed the Knicks the first 3 3/4 of a quarter of the game. And then New York went on, I think it was like, it extended out to like a 31-8 run to end the game. But yeah, that would have been one, or that would have won, or put them tied at 3. But yeah, Detroit's just young, so it's like I can understand why they can have these lapses where they don't have anybody with playoff experience on their team, I don't think.
No, that's not true, because they got Tim Hardaway Jr., they got Tobias Harris, Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, all those guys have playoff experience. And maybe even Ronald Holland. No, never mind. But they got some dudes that have some playoff experience, but it's not like, you know, if you have Patty Mills coming off the bench and he's got playoff experience, it's like, that's great, but he's the 6th man. You know, it's like, that's awesome. That helps. But, you know, Cade and Asher Thompson and Jalen Duren, those guys, they need the playoff experience. And, shoot, who are they missing? What's his name? They're down a guy right now, or at least they were in one game. I'm looking at it. I'm not seeing him. What's his name? I'm blanking on it.
Beasley?
No. Oh, did they trade him this season?
Who?
I forget his name. He was on their team last year. Earlier this season, I thought. Jaden Ivey? Did he just hurt?
Let me look.
Yeah, he's just hurt. So yeah, he's another young guy. I don't think he has playoff experience, but he's another guy that is a good young player for them and could, you know, use some playoff experience. But yeah, I like this Pistons team. They got, you know, they're young, they're athletic. They still need some pieces, obviously, but it's been a fun series.
Right. If they could close out a game, I mean, they have 2 losses by 3 points. 118-116 and 94-93.
And that just so much of it comes with experience.
If they could have flip-flopped a possession on either one of those, and they could be, or they'd be in the second round.
And even you said they lost 2 games by 3 points, but even the Knicks, the game 1, they got outscored by 19 points in the fourth quarter. You know, if you just don't get blown out in the fourth,
don't let them go on a 22-5 run, and you're good.
So, yeah, I don't know. The Pistons, they might be able to pull this thing out. I kind of doubt it, especially considering they trail the series. But hey, man, they're fighting.
Yeah,
it's been a good series so far.
Tripled their win total from last year. Is it Bickerstaff is there? Is that their coach? Yeah.
Yep.
And you saw what he did with Cleveland. He turned them around and put them into the playoffs, and just couldn't get them past the hump. So now he's looking to do that again in Detroit. Now the West, we haven't even got to talk about the West yet.
Yeah, they're still. Well, actually, we haven't even talked about the series that ended last night. But it also might be, or was it last night, or was it the night before?
The Pacers.
Yeah,
last night
might have been the most entertaining series. Those games were. I mean,
and then you got Tyrese Halliburton's dad out here.
High flying, back and forth, high scoring. But yeah, that's the thing. The Tyrese Halliburton thing. And hang on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. You see Chuck and Shaq arguing about it? Oh my goodness. I'll have to show you later. But Shaq is sitting there acting like Halliburton's dad did nothing wrong.
See, I didn't. I'm gonna look it up because I didn't even see anything. So.
Oh, okay.
I got the alert, like they had words or whatever, but I didn't actually see what happened. So it was. Oh, there you go. Type in Giannis, and it's the first thing to come up. No, he went up to him.
Yeah, he walked up to him.
How the hell did he even get on the court?
Because he's sitting courtside.
Oh, okay. Damn, he's kind of taunting him. Luckily, Giannis didn't rip that poster out of his hand.
It's towel, but yes.
Oh, it says poster here in the tag thing, so I just assumed it. But okay, but yeah, either way, he's lucky he just didn't rip it out of his hand. Damn, that's the balls going up against the Greek freak like that, dude.
Well, and I don't understand Shaq's reaction, because I feel like, because they were arguing about it, and like I said, Shaq was acting like Halliburton's dad did nothing wrong. And I'm not trying to say that, Halliburton's dad should go to prison or anything. I'm not trying to make a huge deal about it. But at the same time, he's a fan. Why is he just walking out on the floor? I get it. It's Halliburton's dad. So maybe that's a little different. But you're gonna walk out on the court and then turn around and start cussing at Giannis. That's what we effing do. That's how we do it around this effing play. And just, bro, he's 6'11".
Right.
280. I did something like that. I don't know. Giannis is huge. And Giannis knows, Giannis isn't going to do anything. He is worth, or I don't know how much his contract, what? He makes $40-50 million a year, so he's not going to throw it away. But it's like, bro, it's just completely, I don't know. Halliburton's dad just made himself look really, really bad there.
$93 million.
Well, and that's his net worth. His contract, he's got made way more than that in his career.
$48.8 million, it looks like his contract is.
Yeah, a year.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's incredible. Incredible.
I mean, everyday people who go and get on courts or football fields or baseball diamonds, they're put in jail and they're banned from the sport for life. I mean, yeah, it's Halliburton's dad, but he's not above anybody else.
Yeah. And it was just super disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that, everyone knows, I think, I love Shaq. Everyone loves Shaq. But I just felt like.
No, he's not supposed to be on the court.
Yeah, there you go.
He's supposed to be on the court. Y'all just talk to him. Forget all that. No, he was on the court.
Yeah, and he's like, Giannis talked to him. What do you mean? He walked up to Giannis.
He ran from behind him.
Stop it. Giannis said something. No, because he's on the court in his face.
Yeah, I don't think that Shaq saw the whole video.
Yeah.
Or he saw the whole video after he made the comment, and he's like, no, I don't care. I'm just sticking to my guns. I'm Shaq, and I am right.
Right.
Hey, you do you, homie. So yeah, I thought that was all crazy. Halliburton came out and said sorry. Halliburton's dad, I'm pretty sure, also came out and said that he was wrong, said sorry. So
You better. He's the one that did the fault.
just drama for no reason, but hey.
And then you want to talk about Shaq real
Headlines.
quick. He's the new general manager for Sacramento State's basketball team next year.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that means.
He is, well, it's like an unpaid position, I guess. But they did just scoop Mikey Williams out of the transfer portal. Pretty sure he was a UC guy.
I think so.
Because I heard the Chatterbox guys were talking a lot about it. So yeah, there's that. Take our trip out west.
Which how do I play it? Which shitty team do we want to go to first? You just want to go to the Lakers?
No, I want to save that. I want to save that. That's fine.
And I take that back because I can't say that the Rockets are shitty because, I mean, this is a majority of actually, let me look at this because last time I said that the Pistons didn't have a whole lot of playoff.
Shoot, it's the exact same thing that we're talking about with the Pistons. They just don't
have a lot of playoff experience like they have, like other teams they're going up against.
What, Fred VanVleet has the playoff experience? I'm trying to think of who else is on the roster. But I know Fred VanVleet has a lot of playoff experience.
Fred VanVleet, Steven Adams, I guess you can say. Dylan Brooks has some. But after that, Jeff Green does. But
he didn't even play. And I love Jeff Green, but he's also an old man. It's once again, it's like the role players have some playoff experience, but you need
the starting
for
five
Alperen Sengun, and you need Jalen Green, Amon Thompson to be able to play big in these moments. And it's just the playoff basketball and regular season basketball are two completely different beasts, completely different animals.
Right, you gotta.
And I tell you what, in this last,
and they're I think Houston is another team like Detroit. I think they're another year away from competing and going to that next round.
Yeah, being way better. I totally agree. And was it game 4 that it was just a classic Draymond game?
I don't know. I haven't really watched this series. I've watched
Sengun was 12 of 28. So he wasn't terrible, but Draymond just really made him work for any and everything. When he was out there, Sengun didn't have the touch. When he wasn't out there, Sengun was much more efficient, and it just Draymond's screaming, he's yelling, he's picking up techs, he's getting flagrant fouls. But for some reason, the league refuses to throw him out of game, so he just keeps doing that. And
he was suspended indefinitely one time. And
man.
Well, we'll bring you back in a week.
Hey, man, I guess you do you, Draymond.
Let's see.
He's a difference maker. And it's because of games like game 4 that he's going to be, that is like, those are the games where when he gets into the Hall of Fame where everyone's going to be like, yep, that's why. It was this game right here, stuff like this. He just went psycho mode and completely changed the feel of a game.
Now, that being said, they'll probably go against the Timberwolves in the next round. I don't think he's going to get. I think Minnesota's going to be a little bit more physical with him than what the Rockets have been.
Yeah, but I just see that I don't think the Warriors are actually that good. But I could see this breaking their way because I don't trust Julius Randle in big moments. Shoot, when he played for the Knicks, they were better when he didn't play.
Gobert doesn't do anything. He doesn't scare me on offense at all. He'll get 17 rebounds, but that's it.
He's a nothing on offense.
Yeah.
And so then you're putting it all on
Ant.
Ant and what's his name? McDaniels. Jimmy Butler is gonna do the best job he can against McDaniels, and is putting a lot on Ant. And, I mean, shoot,
Who's going to be guarding Ant then? Is that
he can do a lot.
Draymond?
No, I doubt that. I don't think that Draymond can stay with him.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like with that with how Jimmy Butler plays, how Draymond can muck things up, and how amazing Steph is, they could find a way to win that series too, which I don't want. I do not want. The Warriors are annoying. I've thought the Warriors are annoying for a long time, and then they go in to get Jimmy Butler, and that just makes them even more annoying to me. Yeah, I hope that the T-Wolves are able to beat them, but we'll see. But since we're talking about the T-Wolves, let's slide up a series.
All right.
Lakers, T-Wolves. And
I don't have.
I think I talked about how I didn't think this Lakers team was legit because they don't have big men. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, their starting center in Game 4 played 4 minutes. I guess you could say the real starting five played the entire
game.
Played the entire second half specifically. Mm-hmm. The last 24 minutes of the game. The Lakers just don't have the depth to be able to compete. They don't have the athleticism.
4 minutes, Jesus.
Yeah. And a big problem with Jackson Hayes is he can't play physical without fouling, and they just don't have a big man. Mm-hmm. Who is their big man? I have been watching the games, but because their big man is so bad, I don't know. Is it Rui? And that's not trying to say that Rui's bad, but he's a stretch big. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so their closing unit right now is LeBron, Rui, Luka, Reeves, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Mm-hmm. And that's a lineup of small forwards or power forwards, either or. But they don't have the size to be able to actually play good defense when it matters. And then they do have some switchability, I guess, but Reeves and Luka are both bad defenders, and LeBron, I'll tell you, he had some vintage defensive moments here in Game 4.
Okay.
Did you?
I didn't really watch that. When was that?
He had probably the second best chase down of his career. It really wasn't a chase down. He was guarding the guy the whole way, but it was a beautiful block. Came and swatted it away, and then the next possession down, he got a huge steal.
I did see that because I walked in the door from work, and it was was it in the last couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Then I did see that.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, I think the Lakers might take this one. That's a big, momentum snatcher. But I'm pretty sure right shortly after that, Ant hit another big shot, man. It's just what he does. Let me go through the StatCast real quick. That was with 2 or 3 minutes left. Or maybe that was one of the Naz Reid big shots.
I know DiVincenzo had a huge 3 in that quarter. I think it really picked up the momentum for Minnesota because they had
Yeah, it was a layup by Naz Reid, and then the next possession down, LeBron missed a 3-pointer. It was rebounded by McDaniels, and then he drives down and gets a dunk. Mm-hmm. So it turned from a huge play there by LeBron. They had a chance to extend the lead to 5, and instead They tied it up at 113. Oh, excuse me, no, they went down because Austin Reeves, that's right, it was a back cut to the basket, and Austin Reeves, they trapped to get the ball out of Ant's hands. They got it to the middle of the floor, and then I think Naz Reid hit, it was Naz Reid, hit McDaniels for the assist backdoor, and the late closeout by Reeves, he fouled McDaniels, and then McDaniels hit the three, or hit the free throw for the old-fashioned three, and that ended up being what sealed it. Tough way for things to end there for the Lakers, but like when you just focus completely on offense and you don't play any defense, like LeBron and Rui, legitimately, Rui, and I guess Dorian Finney-Smith, the only guys in that lineup that can play defense that are worth anything offensively, and then you're trying to cover up for Luka and Reeves, and it just wasn't good enough. Luka was somewhat inefficient, shot just under 50%. LeBron was super efficient. He only ended up registering 9 shots because he got fouled so many times. He had shot 18 free throws. It was 15 of 18 from the line. So he was great there. Just crazy that this is how LeBron's, how another career,
gonna go out.
Excuse me, how another season is going to end for him.
Ooh. Then moving up, the Denver. Their backs were kind of against the wall.
This has been a fun series as well.
That ending the other night, 2 nights ago. Good Lord, I didn't realize they beat them that bad. Was that last night? 131 to 150. Good God. But no, okay, the 2 nights ago when Jokic missed that turnaround three with, 5 seconds left, and that was
the Duncan. Was that a pass or a missed shot, or what was it?
Oh, I'm saying that's a missed shot because he had to throw it up because there was no time left. But Porter to be there.
Was it Porter or was it?
Gordon.
I was gonna say
Gordon.
It was Gordon.
And that game, it was not. I hate all the damn ads on ESPN. Outside of Joker, nobody else got above 20 points. So it's like he had to do it all himself. It seemed like 36 points, 21 rebounds, and 8 assists. He's just putting up insane numbers.
Yep, that's what he does.
Yeah.
And so almost,
in one way or another, he knows that he's almost getting ready to go home to his Serbian horse race farm because that's what he wants to do.
And dude, I kind of hope that both of these teams do have a chance to win the finals. But I don't know if either of them can beat the Thunder. And I haven't been the biggest Thunder believer. I think most people know that. But the way that they dominate the Grizzlies, and I get it, the Grizzlies, they don't have the depth that most of these other good teams have. The way they dominated the Grizzlies, that was crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm. Especially that
every game. Sure, they did almost lose their game 4, but they were good.
Down. They were down huge, and then Ja got hurt, and the Thunder came back. I don't know how bad. Was that game 4 or was that the other one, game 3 that they were down here? It was game 3 they were down big. Mm-hmm. And then Ja got hurt towards the end of the first quarter, and they just came back.
Yeah, they didn't have enough fight left in them after that.
I'm telling you, this Thunder team, it's like.
But we'll see what happens in the next series, because I think that should tell a lot.
The winner, whoever wins that series, is going to the final or going to the NBA Finals. I feel like, because I don't think
if Minnesota gets by The Warriors. I think they can, but because Naz Reid is a different guy in the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but him and Jimmy Butler just got this thing where they're like, I don't care about regular season basketball, and then postseason comes around, and Naz Reid is the sixth man of the year. Like, I love to watch it too. He's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, he scored, I think he had like 12 points in the game the other night, and he had 8 of them in the fourth quarter.
I wouldn't be surprised because that's what he does. Like you said, he flips a switch when it comes to the playoffs.
He knocks down so many big shots. He's so much fun to watch.
So let's see. All the series should be over with by our next show next week. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have the Celtics, and I think the Pistons can get it done. I think they'll win the last 2, force Game 7, and I think they'll take on the Celtics in the second round.
You say what?
I think I'm going to pick the Pistons. I think they're going to win both and come back. I picked them.
That'd be huge.
Originally to win the series, but
that'd be a win in a Game 7 in MSG. That would be huge for the Pistons.
Let's see. Well, I don't think they don't start the second round until all the teams are in the second round, right?
I do not remember.
Okay,
but it's possible that some of these series have started before. I think, right? Will some of these series start before we get back here next week?
I feel like all of them will be done.
Okay.
All the first round, yeah.
Yeah, so let's just say, let's just talk about the East for a second.
Okay.
Cavs, Pacers, what's your pick?
I'll pick the Cavs, and I'll do more work notes on it for next week, but I think it could go 6 games.
I'm going Pacers in 6.
Pacers in 6?
Yeah, dude, Hallie's numbers aren't as good as what they were last year, and maybe he's not quite 100%. They're good, dude. They are good. They're deep. They got a bunch of guys that are dogs defensively. They got a couple of different bigs that are good. I mean, between Siakam and Turner, they can both shoot.
Nebhard steps up when he needs to.
Yeah, and they got Matthew in off the bench. I mean, they got dudes all over the place there. So I think that them and Boston will play for the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston in 5 or 6 against. If it's the Knicks, maybe Boston in 4. I'm not gonna lie. The Celtics destroyed the Knicks every time they played this season.
If it's the Knicks, I'll say Boston in sweep. If it's the Pistons, I'll say Boston. I'll say Boston in 6.
I think it's either 4 or 5. 6, I might be a little worried, but I think it's either 4 or 5 either way. Then we flip the script over to the West. Thunder. So who are you going to go for Nuggets Clippers?
I'm going to go Clippers. Or no, Nuggets, sorry. I was looking at the Clippers when I said it. I'm going to go the Nuggets.
I am too, because at the end of the day, as much as I love Kawhi, I cannot trust James Harden in big spots.
No, not in Game 7 either, and Game 7 on the road if they force it.
Oh, that's something else I did forget to mention about Milwaukee. That's another guy you cannot trust in big spots. Doc Rivers.
See, I didn't really watch it.
I totally forgot that he was there. And yeah, so I saw an little reel earlier of him like in a post-game press conference, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense why they couldn't get things done. So yeah, I guess we're both going Thunder Nuggets.
Yep.
Who you taking?
Just because Joker he flips a switch in the postseason, I will say Nuggets in 6.
I really don't know if they can handle Joker. I kind of hope it's Nuggets in 6. Maybe this is wrong of me, but I'm hoping that it's Nuggets in 6 because I kind of just hope I'm right about this Thunder team, that they're just not there quite yet.
Not yet.
And then I think the T-Wolves are going to win the Lakers series.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And you think the Warriors are going to win the Rocket series? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's the pick there?
Oh, God. I will go... Damn it, I don't have a coin to flip. I'll go Warriors in 7. I feel like it could go either way, but I feel like it'll go 7.
This one is the hardest one for me to pick, really. 'Cause I just feel like they're gonna trick me and find a way to get back to a conference finals.
The Warriors?
It just feels that way. Jimmy Butler he's got a knack for just being in big spots. Him and Steph both. I guess I'm gonna say Warriors in 7. I hope I'm wrong. I really want it to be the Timberwolves. I love watching Ant-Man and Naz Reid play together. They're so much fun. I just hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong about that one. So, okay. NFL draft time?
I guess. And like we always do, we'll highlight some of the stuff to talk about, but dive into it more the next couple of weeks as well. Get each team, at least talk about some of our favorite teams. Go more in depth with the Colts and the Bengals, and maybe talk about their divisions and any other teams that what they needed to work on. But anywhere you want to start in particular?
Well, if you want, we can just start at the top of the draft. What the hell were the Jaguars thinking?
I don't know. I mean, they needed defensive help on the edge, but they needed. What's it? Kuiper said they needed to protect Trevor Lawrence too. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you could have. Looking at it, I really feel like they could have stayed 5th, and I think they could have got a Hunter. Because I think Cleveland was focusing on the defensive line. The Giants they were projected to take Carter anyway, so I don't think they were going, because they need to rush all the mobile quarterbacks that are in the NFC East.
Well, so I'm actually seeing right now, Browns reportedly would have called off Jags trade if Ward fell, or Titans traded the 1 pick. That's what it says.
Okay.
1 day ago from Bleacher Report. I just think, So
what, that meant they would have taken Ward? Well, I guess not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if they would have traded or whatever, yeah. Ooh.
I just don't understand. They gave up 2 firsts, a second, and a third, right?
Yes, Jacksonville did.
Wait, the Browns moved down 3 spots. Cleveland received the 5th pick,
and
a second,
first,
a 4th, a first,
and was it a 3rd next year, or was that it?
Yeah, that was it. So
okay.
a 4th, a 2nd, and 2 firsts. That's just, then you hear everybody in the draft coverage. Well, you get 2 players for the price of 1. You get 2 players for the price of 1.
You get 1 player
for the price of 4. For the price of 4. That's 4 picks.
Oh, you're talking about the pick. Yeah, I was talking about you get 1 player for 2 positions.
Right, but you get.
Yeah, you're giving up 4 other players along with that you could have had. That would have been, because you said it was their first this year and next year, and their 2nd and 4th or whatever. That is 4 decent people that'll be in the NFL.
Yeah, more than likely. The success rate of NFL 4th round picks is 30%. So I don't know. I hate that talking point. I really, really do hate that talking point that you get 2 players for the price of 1. Mm-hmm. Because
No.
That would mean that you get a guy who's playing 100% of the snaps both ways.
And
that
he ain't gonna do that.
Not going to happen. He might be able to play 100% of the snaps one way
and then have a
50
package.
and 50. But there's no way he does more than that.
No.
So yeah, I just thought that was crazy. Jags' new GM, I don't know, he's new to football, and he said, I have to put my stamp on this, and he's probably going to get fired for that at some point here down the line. 'Cause I don't think it's going to work.
What did he do before?
I think he's just a first-time GM, so I'm not 100% sure. But I know that they said that he's at least first-year GM for them.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I mean, yes, Travis Hunter's a good player and all that, but you're not going to get, like you said, 100% of snaps on both sides of the ball every game, every week.
James Gladstone, he was with the Rams for the previous 9 years.
Oh, so he's never been in the first round before in a draft because the Rams didn't have a first-round pick for like 6 years. So he's like, I don't know what to do here.
And they did for 1 year.
Oh, last year, yeah. But he's like, we just got to pick the best player available.
And he was their director of scouting.
Oh, so he never had to work on the first day of the draft. This is all second day stuff.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that's a crazy trade up.
I mean, Cleveland won the trade because you get 2 first-round picks, and you got, I mean.
Yeah, Cleveland won the trade, and they very well might have won the draft.
Let's see, go down the rest of it. Abdul Carter went 3rd. Those were consciously the first 3 picks that I felt like everyone was going to go. That was what I was seeing how it was going to go. Granted, a lot of the people had Hunter going to Cleveland, but they had him still getting drafted 2nd. Campbell was a top 5 pick. Graham, I felt Michigan might have got a little, or Cleveland got a little early. He was kind of at the bottom of the top 10. But, I mean, if you get your guy and you want him, you just go get him. You got your wish at 6. Ashton Genty's not on the Cowboys.
I'm fine with him being a Raider.
McMillan went kind of in that area. I saw him anywhere from 8 all the way down to 13 in that area, so definitely saw him go into his range. Kelvin Banks, I thought, was a little bit early. He was more towards the middle to late first round, and he got up to 9th. But New Orleans has got to protect old, feeble Derek Carr, or whoever they have back there at quarterback. Oh, Spencer Rattler? Never mind.
Yeah, so where do you want to start?
I don't really care.
So, okay. Hang on. Okay, so we go through picks, or 2 teams that way. All right, so.
I was, before you start, I was surprised to see 2 running backs go in the first round.
I wasn't. There's a lot of different people, Daniel Jeremiah being one of them, that had Ashton Genty as a top 5 player in the draft. He was actually the 3rd rated player on Daniel Jeremiah's board.
Okay.
And Demario Hampton was the 13th rated player on his board.
Okay.
So he thought that both of them were highly, highly skilled guys. And with the work that Saquon did last year, I think it's bringing some of the value back to the running back position. How much? I don't know. I think it's doing some of it. So I guess why not? We could start with the Arizona Cardinals if you want to.
Okay. Let me go and find their team picks.
So I really do love a lot of their picks, actually. So the first one, Walter Nolan from Mississippi. That is a great pick.
Yes.
He's a very good nose tackle, defensive tackle. Really good at clogging up the middle. He was the second highest PFF. He got the second highest PFF grade for run defense in all of FBS this past season, 91.6, and was a seventh-ranked prospect on the big board for PFF, and they got him at 16. So they got some good value there. Will Johnson, he's another guy. For a long time, he was being talked top 10. High first round, and then he falls all the way down to 49.
I think that's just
one of the steals of the draft.
Yeah,
he's dealing with an injury
where he didn't play a lot last year. But I mean, yeah, he's definitely a steal for them in the second round.
Yeah, over the last 3 seasons of his college career, he allowed a 57.2 passer rating. When he was being thrown at, that is in the 94th percentile. Just completely destroys. Well, did you not plug me in, Jared?
Oh, did it die? Here.
I think so. Anyways, yeah, he was just a complete monster anytime quarterbacks wanted to go his way, and so I don't think quarterbacks often wanted or tried to go his way. You got Jordan Birch from Oregon there in the third round in 2024, had 10 sacks, had a PFF grade of 81, and had a pass rusher win rate of 15.7%, which is a really good number. Cody Simon, he's a Buckeye. I don't know a ton about him. Go ahead.
He was a good linebacker. He could get around, get over the field, get across. But I mean, I guess I can kind of compare him. I don't really have a comparison for him, but I mean, 112 tackles last year, led to Ohio State with that. The thing that works out for him, he has a good reaction time. So it's like he kind of knows where he's going as soon as the ball's hiked, and that's kind of what he did last year. I mean, like I said, led the team in tackles for Ohio State, but also had the third most assisted tackles, so he can get all over the field.
Yeah, he carried a 90.6 PFF run grade, an 80.6 PFF pass grade, and a pass coverage grade of 72.7, giving him a 87.7 overall PFF grade. He was very efficient. Like you said, good reaction time. Was often in the right areas. For the Buckeyes over his career, and the Cardinals could use some help in the linebacker room, so I wouldn't be shocked if he gets to see the field a fair amount. Denzel Burks, great corner when it comes to zone coverage, 81.0 coverage grade in 2024. They also need some help there along their
zone coverage
their
is good.
back line.
But you play him man to man, he gets burnt a lot. So teams obviously know that going in it. So if they're not in zone, and if they're in zone, he's locked down. If they're not, he's going to be playing from behind.
Hayden Connor, guard from Texas, had 617 pass blocking snaps last season, gave up 0 sacks. So that is awesome.
Yeah, especially with how many sacks that Quinn Ewers took.
They were not any of them because of him. And then the safety, Kitten Crawford from Nevada. That pick got traded around a couple times, but he had a great coverage grade, 88.5.
It did.
Yeah, that one went from New York to KC
Jets to Kansas
Arizona.
City to. Well, somebody got him finally.
He logged over 1,010 special teams snaps in college, so he's a really good special teamer. I wouldn't be shocked if that's where he spends a lot of his time.
We just going in alphabetical order, so we going to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
At least because that's how I got them stacked up here. So, do you have any takeaways about this draft, like off the top?
I mean, the thing of the draft was, I guess it didn't matter, or it wasn't bad to not pick an Ohio State or Georgia player. I think they had, 16 and 15 picks?
I didn't know, but I'm not shocked.
Yeah. So as long as it seemed like as long as you drafted one of those two schools, you seem to be kind of fit in style with everybody else. Atlanta didn't. I mean, they didn't have a lot of picks. They had one. They had two on the first night, and then they didn't have anything.
But they might have traded out.
Okay.
Of some of them, yeah.
But they just. I don't know.
Because I know they traded up to get James Pierce.
Yeah, they traded. In with who?
So yeah, they didn't have like the biggest draft in the world, but I do kind of like what they did, at least with the first 3 picks. They did kind of double up. I mean, they literally doubled up, considering Jalen Walker and James Pierce, both edge rushers. Walker, the Georgia kid, it says Walker brings natural athleticism at the off-ball linebacker spot and edge rusher positions. He's a versatile defender that the Falcons will be able to use. And he makes lots of impact plays. They were 31st ranked in pass rush win rate last season at 34.2%. 29th in total quarterback pressures, 230 in 2024. And so, I mean, they're going to need a guy like Walker, and he should fit in well there. They should really be able to use his services. Earn a 83.0 plus PFF pass rush grade last season. Actually, each of the last 2 seasons. And then James Pierce, I like the double dipping. I just talked about. They could not get after the quarterback at all last year. Mm-hmm. So what do? They trade back into the first round and they get James Pierce, who, from my understanding, had some character concerns, but he's another athletic pass rusher. This one from Tennessee. I don't think he did too well in the cold. So I guess it's good that he's going to Atlanta.
A dome?
Yeah, he won't have to be, even if it wasn't a dome. No, it's true. Atlanta. Yeah. It won't get too cold down there. Had a 23% pass rush win rate while also having a 84.1 run defense grade this past season. And he's really good at getting off of the first block and creating havoc in the backfield. Xavier Watts from Notre Dame.
You were wanting him.
I was wanting him so bad, and the Bengals did.
And the Bengals I think they had 3 chances to get him. I mean, first and second round, but I think they picked above him in the 3rd round too. But yeah.
Yeah, he should be really good. He's one of the best ball hawking safeties in college football the past couple of years, showcasing excellent anticipation and a high football IQ. Had 6 interceptions last season and a 89 PFF pass grade coverage. Then they got another safety in the 4th round, so they just double dipping. And then the Jack Nelson 7th round offensive tackle from Wisconsin, 6'7", big boy, 316 pounds.
He probably won't be on the team though. Not 7th round pick. He might be on the practice squad.
I mean, I don't know. Some of his numbers aren't too bad. And they could have used some help offensively along the line there last year. Then Baltimore. Yay, I get to talk about Baltimore. Few teams that I hate more than Baltimore. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of picks.
They had 5 picks in the 6th round. I was sitting there and it's like, God, how many picks do they have? I mean, Baltimore, John Harbaugh knows what to do. I mean, he's been there forever.
Well, and I think I complained last week on the show about the fact that the Ravens just abuse the system every single year and get so many comp picks. Comp pick. I guess was it only 2 this year? Wow, that's shocking. So anyways, start up top, Malachi Starks. They get a safety who should not have fallen to them.
Yeah.
He only missed 8.1% of his tackles, which is one of the lowest rates in the entire class. He's very intelligent safety, 80.6 run defense grade, and he's going to be very good back there next to Kyle Hamilton. Thanks a lot. Mike Green, a guy, character issues. A lot of people thought the Bengals could have taken him in the 1st round. I think he's got some alleged things that happened in his past. Some very bad allegedlys. I don't want to get too more into it than that. He recorded 17 sacks last season, had a pass rusher win rate of 20.2, and a rush stop rate of 9.4. So that guy's on the field. He is making plays. He's around the ball. Emory Jones Jr., offensive tackle from LSU. They had a lot of injuries along the line last year, so he should help kind of shore that up a little bit. He's just a Raven, so he's going to be good. I just know it.
Baltimore never drafts bad. They always turn the late round picks into people that end up playing for them for a long time.
Teddy Buchanan, don't know a ton about him.
I didn't watch. I don't think I watched
Cal.
one snap of Cal football
They
last
were bad.
year. Yeah.
They were bad. Yeah, so a lot of these picks actually came later, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about them. I love, and I hate that I love it, but the Devontae, or is that his name?
Where are you at?
LeJontay Wester pick.
Oh.
The Colorado wide receiver.
Uh-huh.
He was really good for them over the last couple years there with Dion and and Shador and Travis. He's really good. I'm on to the Bills.
All right, let me go.
That was a really, I don't know. I would have thought that it would have been a better draft in my eyes. I'm not trying to say that they drafted poorly, but there wasn't a ton of names that I knew on there.
Right. Buffalo, they just had to pick it every round and then 2 in the 5th and 6th. I was reading, because granted, I never expected, I go into work on Sunday and I'm having a full-blown draft conversation about the Bills with a 98-year-old woman, but she's from Buffalo, a diehard Bills fan, and I should have taken a picture to show you, but she had a page of notes about each player that they drafted and about why she liked them. I was like, but yeah, she did her homework.
Jared, you should have wheeled her on in here.
I should have.
We could have had her.
We got to
had a guest
build a
segment.
ramp to get up here, but yeah.
Hey.
She did some work, and I guess if she likes them, doing all that work for 7th round picks, I guess I'll listen to her and I'll actually look at her notes for next week.
And so I know that Maxwell Hairston was one of the highest rated corners in this class. Ended up going at number 30. And this guy, I don't know if you saw the video, but his table was like the one right before the door where in the draft room where people would walk out. Dude, you would have thought that every single guy that got drafted was his best friend. Like best friend since second grade type deal, where these guys were toddlers running down the street together. Freaking type deal. I mean,
he only had to do it 29 times, but yeah.
Well, and then I even read, I didn't see it, but then I read in the comments, he got picked 30th. And evidently his dad, for the 2 guys that got picked after him, was the exact same way.
Okay.
He wasn't in the green room anymore, obviously, but his dad was like, yeah, this is your moment, yeah. And that's awesome,
good
dude.
For him.
Happy for everybody.
Yeah. That's a good guy to have in the locker room.
Right, exactly. I mean, no one's going to dislike this guy.
No, and they needed cornerback help.
Yeah, that is for sure. Had an 81.8 overall PFF grade in 2023 and looked poised to take the leap at 24, but missed out on most of the season due to injury. Bills need a high-caliber cornerback opposite of Christian Benford. Harrison provides them that due to solid tackling ability and good length at the position. He also profiles well in his zone-heavy as a zone-heavy cornerback with high-level athleticism. Interior defensive line, TJ Sanders, South Carolina, 3 technique, and he had 33 pressures on the quarterback last year, had a pass rush win rate of 81.9%. And it's actually gotten better all 3 years in college, so that's something that you love to see.
Right.
He should fit in nicely along there with the Bills, with the rest of that line. And that one they traded back up into the second round, or maybe not back up into the second round, but they traded up to get him traded with Chicago. Landon Jackson, edge from Arkansas. So they decided they were going to do a lot of work on the defensive end, which not a bad idea, especially Deion Walker from Kentucky in the 4th round.
You got to short that defensive line to get after Patrick Mahomes.
Jordan Hancock, Ohio State, 5th round. I mean,
Hancock was projected into the 5th and 6th round, but I mean he's a good slot corner, so he's got speed. He played I think not started, but he played a majority in every game this season. 2.5 tackles for loss and interception, and two forced fumbles out of the slot corner. So,
Deion Walker, the second interior defensive lineman, the 4th round pick from Kentucky, 6'6", 345.
Jesus.
Yeah, that man is a house. And evidently he plays with way more finesse than what his size would suggest. That's what they say. PFF grade of 80.6. They really helped to boost his draft stock. And then, the first non-defensive pick was the Jackson Hawes tight end from Georgia Tech.
Not a lot I know about him. He wasn't the biggest pass-catching tight end, so he must be in there for blocking purposes because they've got Kincaid and what's his name? Knox.
Yeah, he had a run blocking grade of 74.7 last season, and he had a prospect grade of 6.12. He's got potential to possibly one day be a starter, they say. Mainly for pass blocking. You look at his splits, 13 catches for 135 yards, 1 touchdown, 13 catches, 139, 1 touchdown, no touchdowns, my bad.
Ooh.
9 catches, 97, 1 touchdown. And then last year it did pick up a little bit, but that's not saying much. 16 for 195 and no touchdown. So definitely not.
That's a run blocking tight end.
Yeah, and so and they're already a good enough running team, so just add some more of that. And then also, he's a guy that can catch the ball from time to time.
Right. So he'll be a guy that pisses me off in daily fantasy, where he'll get 2 tight ends or 2 touchdowns in a sneaky game and piss me off just because nobody will expect him. Ooh, is that it with Buffalo that you had?
Looks like it.
On to the Panthers. They had to get some weapons for Bryce Young to throw to, because last year, who was their receivers last year? Was an old Adam Thielen. They had Leggett, right?
Yes. Sorry, I accidentally closed my page, so I had to go and pull it back up.
Yeah, they had.
They had
Thielen, Leggett. Is Renfro new, or was he there last year?
I think he just unretired.
Okay, so he came back. They got Jalen Coker, and now the McMillan kid from Arizona. And I'm glad he went first, or not, he went in their first round. What was it, 8th overall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice pick there for the Panthers. NFL gave him a B+ on their draft. I mean, as long as you're building people to protect Young and give him options. I mean, you saw what he did after he got put in timeout. He came back and won 4 out of the last 7 games for him.
Yeah, and I think he played way better. And so they did enough to at least have the team believe in him for now. So they go out and get McMillan, who most people believe is the best wide receiver in the draft.
I do too.
Absolutely fantastic.
And that was even with Noah Fafita being bad last year, throwing it to him.
Yeah, for sure. Can't really single the guy. I mean, in college at least. And if you did, he'd beat you. Nick Scorton, Texas A&M. Panthers traded up to be able to get the interior defender. He can really play 3-4, 4-3. Doesn't really matter. Over the past 2 seasons, his pass rush grade was 91.7. So that's really good for an interior defensive lineman. You don't normally get interior defensive linemen that can rush like that. You know, they're rare. So Nick Scorton, a really great pickup for them. Should help the middle of that defense out a lot.
NFL Network's giving him a Trey Hendrickson player comp.
Interesting.
Princely thank God I don't have to say his name next year, hopefully. Princely Umana Milan.
Good try.
Yeah.
I have no clue. This is another one they traded up for. He was the number 50 overall player on the PFF big board. They got him at 77, so that's good value.
Good value.
91.1 PFF grade, ranked 6th among players at the position. So they got a couple of really good edges. Trevor Etienne, Travis's brother, from Georgia, though. He had 34 forced missed tackles on 126 rushing attempts last season. So he's really shifty. Does a good job of making guys miss. I almost don't. The thing is, I just don't understand that pick because they already got Chuba Hubbard. They drafted the Texas kid last year. Did they cut Sanders?
You're talking about Brooks?
Yeah.
They must have, because I don't see him. They have Hubbard, and then they have Etienne listed as second. I think only because Brooks still has a D next to his name on their roster, and then Rico Dowdle.
And Dowdle, yeah, that was the other guy I was thinking about. So yeah,
So
they
was
just
that
got
Miles Sanders?
Yeah,
Let me see where he's at.
maybe they did cut him. But anyways, yeah, I didn't quite get the pick. I guess you could never have enough running backs.
Oh, he
Though.
went to Dallas.
Oh,
They need him. You got what's his name? Zeke. He ain't doing nothing. He ate too much.
and then Buckeye safety Lathan Ransom.
Yeah, he's a good. They have him listed as safety. I felt like he kind of played up a little bit more, but he thrives against going up against tight ends. That was what he predominantly was used for with Ohio State last year. So what in the NFC South you've got Cade Otton at Tampa,
You got Pitts.
Kyle Pitts at Atlanta, and the hell is New Orleans? Oh, Taysom Hill.
The quarterback.
That can do everything. So yeah, he'll be he's a good tight end defender. So
You know they also have Foster Moreau, but he's like dealing with cancer or something.
I think so. Let me look. Yes. They also have Juwan Johnson. New Orleans does. They got 3 decent tight ends.
They also did end up picking in the 5th round Cameron Jackson, the interior defensive lineman from Florida. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
The guy who weighs like 450 pounds.
Oh my God.
He's literally a bus.
Oh, that doesn't have his weight. That is. Damn. Good Lord.
Hang on, I'm trying to pull it up. He is massive.
Let me look. Cam Jackson.
Is that the right guy? Because this says he's only 328. Maybe I'm mixing him up with his teammate. Desmond Watson, my bad. Yeah, I did mix him up. Desmond Watson is 6'5", 249 pounds, or 449 pounds.
Good
449. Yes,
Did he get drafted?
he's a house. Yes, by the Bucks. So I mixed it up.
You ain't gonna be. Shit, he could take up 2 positions on the line. They're able to. The Tampa can drop a lineman off or bring in an extra linebacker because he can just take on 2 people and just. Good God.
So yeah, I mixed him and his teammate up, but it says that Jackson was the 130th ranked player on their big board. He's a huge presence in the run game. Had an 81 run defense grade last season and a run stop rate of 9.3%.
Ooh, here by the Tampa Bay Times, at Watson's pro day, he was 464. As of 2 days ago, he's down to 437. Damn.
He's cutting that weight.
About 6 weeks, he's dropped 34 pounds.
Man, the keto diet can do magical things.
Great. So now you got a guy that has the strength of a 460-pound lineman, but now he has a little bit more speed behind it. Oh, God, I feel sorry for. Where'd he go? I feel sorry for the rest of the NFC South.
Yeah. They also got Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame.
They just don't really have the best tight ends. Let me see what this says about him.
He had a 72.7 contested catch rate. So, like, he got...
Really? I mean, it seems like Riley Leonard ran it all the time.
Right, but that also means that Riley Leonard isn't very accurate, and so when he threw the ball...
Oh, true.
It was incontested, or maybe not that he's not very accurate, but that when he did throw the ball to him, it was highly contested, and he did a good job coming down with those catches. And then they also got Jimmy Horn Jr. from Colorado. So I like that as a 6th-round wide receiver pick. So that's another guy. I mean, because that was the Panthers still, right?
Yeah. We're done with them now.
I mean, they got in my opinion, 2 really good wide receivers. I could be wrong about Jimmy Horn, but I think he should be a good player.
He made plays last year with Colorado. We're going to do Chicago and then be done?
Yeah, sure. Because shoot, that gets us through how many teams?
Six.
6?
6 will be Chicago. All right, so yeah, we can do them and be done. Chicago, let me scroll down to Chicago. They needed to find what?
All right, yeah, we'll save the Bengals for next week because the Bengals are the next team on the list.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come in next week and get let it have a week and a half to sit and stew with you, see him if you like him anymore now.
That could change things a lot. Let's see what happens.
All right, so the Bears, they needed to go out and get some things for Caleb Williams, and they did. They got, in my opinion, even though the Colts took Tyler Warren, I think Colson Loveland was the best tight end in the draft. They went and got Luther Burden III from Missouri at the beginning of the 2nd round. And then they got an offensive tackle from Boston College to help sit there and help protect. So they went out and they got, Caleb Williams some protection and some weapons. Because let me look over here what their next. They've got Swift and was that Roshan Johnson? Then now they got DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, Devin Duvernay, and then you've got Cole Kmet and Colson Loveland. Yeah, I must say, and then they also got Joe Thuney out of Kansas City in that trade at the end of the regular, not the regular season, but before the draft. So yeah.
So I really love their first 2 picks with going and getting Burton, who I'll tell you what, he was not the guy that a lot of people expected him last year because, I don't know, in my opinion, he could have if he just would have played up to the standard that he set the year before, he could have been the first wide receiver off the board because he was really good in 2023. 1,212 yards, 9 touchdowns. He still had a good year, but it wasn't nearly the year that it was before, so that's why he fell, all the way into the second round. But I still think he's a really good player, and maybe the drop is going to propel him to be really good because everyone knows about, the chip that can build for guys. And Amon-Ra St. Brown still looks at that list every single day, or before every single game. All these, 18, 20 wide receivers got drafted in front of him. Yeah.
Now he's top 4 in the league, 3 in the league.
Top 5,
top
6,
top 5 to the ceiling,
whatever.
or the floor.
But
Brady.
and then Colston Loveland. I'm a tight end guy, and this draft was stocked with tight ends that I like. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, love both of them. Harold Fannin, I don't know if he's actually gonna stay at tight end. I could see, because I've heard people talk about trying to make him just a really big wide receiver, which would be fine with me. The guy can catch, that's for sure. Mason Taylor, I'm not the world's biggest fan of, but I still think he can be good. I love Gunnar Helm, Terrence Ferguson. This is a deep class for tight ends. That's 6 tight ends I just talked about that I really like. And
we talked about a couple in the other 5 teams we've talked about so far that they picked tight ends in the later rounds that we didn't really talk a lot about.
Yeah.
Just didn't know a lot about them.
Well, and like Jackson Hawes, he's not a receiving tight end, but he should be a nice blocker and special teams player and whatnot for him. I love those first 2 picks there. And then I don't know a ton about the defense.
Yeah.
Or about the running back from
he went to Rutgers.
From Rutgers. Yeah.
He don't play football at Rutgers.
But this says that he almost seeks out defenders in his running style, gaining 862 yards after contact in 2024. In 2023, he earned an excellent 92.5 overall PFF grade, though it did fall significantly down to 77.3 this past year. So definitely took a big step backwards, but 7th round pick, not a bad pick.
All right, so is that going to do it then for this week?
Yeah, I guess so. There was a lot to go through.
And still a lot more to go through next week.
Yeah, hopefully maybe we can get through more of the NFL. I will maybe be hot-headed about the Bengals draft next week. We will see about that. But I guess that's going to do it for episode number 143. Here on Play-by-Play, don't forget to like it on all the social media platforms. Share it if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. And we will see you guys next week.